and welcome back to another episode of the Transfer Show here on Anfield Index. I'm joined for it by Mr. Dave Davis. You're going to have to excuse me today, Dave. I am very congested, so I've got one side of my face that doesn't really work. What's new there, you might say, but we have a lot of stories to get cracked into, and we should just go straight out the gap with the first one, which is the first piece of business that's been done. It's been done since we last spoke, and that was, of course, Caoimhín Kelleher. The details have come out. Lots of people not quite as happy as they would otherwise have been, querying the fee and all the rest of it. But I think on the face of it, we've got a bit of business done there that seems to be good for everybody. Also, there's a bit of other way around going on. So can you inform folks about the Kelleher story and the goalkeeping situation in general?
Yeah, it's one in, one out on the goalkeeping front, isn't it? So Kelleher goes, it's up to, I think, 80 million quid when all the add-ons sound very achievable by the nature of the deal. But a good exit, a well-liked player. Everyone hopes he does well. A nice bit in the kitty with Marmadashvili covering. So that is all good. At the same time, who do we get? We get a lad, not the Hungarian we expected, though, Trev. And I'm actually going to see if this plays for you all, people, because we've got his name, and I don't think we could even say it. So just listen to this carefully, people. This is from Ben Boxak, a Hungarian journalist.
Armin Pécsi.
Now that sounds like one of those dodgy things or voices you used to get on Eurotrash back in the day for a bit of semi-erotic material for European voices. But, hey-ho, Pesci. I think we'll just call him Joe, to be honest. But Liverpool have got a young keeper in, 1.5 million, Trev, from Hungary, which people have scoffed at this a little bit today. But these are the types of deals that are not bad to hear about, aren't they? Young, developing players coming in. Liverpool having an eye on the future, the next crop at the same time as well. So that's a positive. And it does go with our good Hungarian little pal. Let's see his little social media. God, he loves a little social media post, little Milos, doesn't he, with his eyes or his different bits. This one, for all our info, is done. In fact, as me and you shared screenshots from multiple people saying this is done, all bar the announcement, the formal bit. So it looks, we fully expect by the end of, actually, let me revise myself. I'll save myself like a Tory politician here. It's not guaranteed, but the expectation is by the 10th of June on that Tuesday night, we've got two Hungarians in the door to fully talk about.
It's tremendous stuff. I'm very much looking forward to hearing what happens with the Kerkez deal, the breakdown of it. But I'm hearing myself back here. Can you hear that?
Teeny bit, bony a little bit.
This is quite disconcerting. I'm going to have to just log out and log on a bit. Can you carry us on there, buddy? Because this is... I can't cope with this echo.
Yeah, of course.
I'm going to get out and come back. Okay.
So why Mr. Downey resets, people, we have got you horny little bastards covered, because this has been the story of the week, hasn't it? Everyone's been like, it's 99, 99.1, 99.2. I think someone put 99.6 in the chat panel. Is this done for Florian Wirtz? And the start of the week was a little bit interesting for me in the sense of, I'm sure you saw this story from David Ornstein that Arne Slot flew out, didn't he? Arne Slot flew out to actually visit Rayan Cherki and have that meeting with him, that chat. And it seems like he had that chat more to cover bases of the reports came in that if anything went south with Wirtz, they just lined a contingency is the word I'm going to use up there. But they're not going to need it. Simple as that. And City fans trying to make out that they've somehow won, as in Cherki's picked them. Like, what are you talking about? You clearly pulled out. The Wirtz deal pulled out when you were told he didn't want you and he wanted to come to us, similar to Bayern. And I love the chats, 99.45. It's been reported, so there's that. But even tonight, ladies and gents. It might even happen during the show. And just in case it does, me and Trev have got our supplies on ready for a quick toast. But as you can maybe see on the screen, if you're watching on a certain social media, as per build, negotiations between us and Leverkusen are near completion for Florian Wirtz. It's going to be around 150 million euros, it seems. And I mean, what a sexy line that is, Trev. It seems possible that Wirtz will undergo his medical in Liverpool at the beginning of next week. And there's quite a few journos saying this as well. Sasha, he also posted, didn't he, that Florian Wirtz has received the green light to complete his move at the same time. And Neon, maybe 40 minutes ago, an hour, maybe tops, Lewis Steele had his out on his YouTube channel to say, I'm putting my neck on the line. Wirtz and Kerkez will be Liverpool players. That's all the information I've got. And if you want to think I'm paraphrasing, exaggerating, go and have a listen to what he says fully, ladies and gents. But the only other thing I would say is all calm. I'm quite relaxed about this one. And I've seen people saying still even today, Trev, oh, we could get trumped. Well, let's just think about this. City have withdrawn from the race and they're going for Turkey. Bayern Munich, I'm not being funny, Rudi Voller, Joshua Kimmich, and who's the other lad? The other Bayern player was talking about Wirtz going. Philip Lahm, the old guy, he was talking about Florian Wirtz going to us. People then said Real Madrid and Xavi Alonso. Well, they're about to move for an attacking midfielder, a very young attacking midfielder as well. It's Liverpool. Maybe it's being cheeky. Maybe it's getting trademark and causing a problem here. But it's always been Liverpool for Florian Wirtz. Trev, now is the time for everyone to be excited.
I like the way you've done the catchphrase. You hear that?
Little bit. Yeah, a little bit this time.
It's got, by the way, it's got nothing to do with me being in Ireland, funny voice and the thing. This application's having a nightmare, Dave. I don't think we can do this, man. We'll have to leave you to carry the can. Sounds horrible.
No worries at all. If it's not working, it's not working.
I'll try and jump in later on. Okay, bye-bye.
Magic. So there we are with Wirtz. What have we got up for you next, ladies and gents? You have to give me a bit of breath every now and again. The only thing that's worth mentioning is international. Third versus fourth. He talked about it in an interview, Florian Wirtz, so I don't know if he will play on this. I'm not fully sure, but we'll all be watching that third versus fourth. And don't pretend you didn't watch the game during the week. Did you see his cross? Did you see his goal? Did you see his header? He's ours. He's going to be ours. So we can all relax on this front completely. In terms of a player going the other way, this Luis Diaz story. Now, you may well have seen the various news from David Ornstein, Joyce, all the stories. This all accelerated yesterday, didn't it? And Luis Diaz was talking at the Columbia press conference, wasn't he? He was put up by his national team. And just in case you can't see it on the screen, it's there. We are talking with clubs. It's normal in the market and looking at the best for us. If they offer us, as in Liverpool, a good renewal, or I stay there for the 2 years, I'll be happy. Now, it depends on them. This is accelerated a bit in the last week or so. And naturally, as me and Trev always do, we did some digging on this to try and find it out. We'd said for the last 2 pods on this to you, we've been crystal clear. Luis Diaz is looking at 3 options and he's ranked them. No doubts about it. Number 1, he wants to go to Barcelona. That's the ultimate dream for him. Make no mistake about that. Number 2, he would stay at Liverpool, but he wants it with a contract renewal. That is number 2. Number 3, which the luxury of maybe certain people, is the Saudi option, isn't it? Now, things are starting to become a bit clearer, aren't they? That Liverpool have made it clear. So you can see this to all the outlets. Again, we said this for the last few weeks. They are not going to offer him a contract renewal. That is not going to happen. So now Diaz has options because Barcelona. Now, people sort of said that they haven't made an offer as per the reports. No, Barcelona, as we got it to Anfield Index and various people have had it stood up by, they did make a verbal offer to Liverpool. Get ready for a piss take, 40 million euros. And the reason they do that is because it's Barcelona. We know how they operate and they know the player wants to go there. But quite rightly, Liverpool have stood firm. Liverpool have said, don't even bother ringing us back. And the reason they've done that is I'm sure many of you have seen, they said we're all waiting for that Saudi Arabia bid, aren't they? There's been various reports around this that Saudi Arabia and Al Nassr specifically, that club are ready to bring to the table around 85 million euros, which miles more than Barcelona will ever go to. So Lucho ultimately has got a decision to make a little bit, hasn't he? You're not going to get a contract renewal from Liverpool. Barcelona are never going to ante up to that. It's Barcelona. We know how they work. It's not going to happen. Which means realistically, Saudi for the big money or stay. And stay with no contract renewal. This is my opinion on this personally, so that this isn't separate from the information that we've got at Anfield Index. I do think he'll take it because Liverpool are being clear that, and Lucho's even saying it there, isn't there? The mention of a good renewal, but Liverpool have been clear through all the patch journos, it's not going to happen. And Lee says there, Saudi is the only option. If Lucho wants a pay rise, it is the only option, isn't it? So I do think money may talk in this instance. And also, Liverpool, let's just be clear, they're not trying to boot Lucho Diaz out the door, but you know, when we've talked about it before on this podcast, they've genuinely got other options, aren't they, that they're looking at to replace him. So we'll have to see what develops. It's not going to happen in transfer window 1, if you want to call it that, before the 10th of June. We will see what develops until then. But yeah, definitely one to keep an eye on. And the other story is other left-wing colleague, you could say, Cody Gakpo, had a bit on that. There's been a few reports today. Mentioned it the other week as well. Lewis Steele and a few others said, absolutely, Bayern Munich have inquired about Cody Gakpo. Right now, Liverpool haven't got an interest in that. Cody Gakpo, though, is another player that is looking for a wage bump. You think as he comes into his third, his fourth year, we'd have to double check back, wouldn't it? I think it's fourth year or about to be fourth year with Liverpool, Cody Gakpo, that, or 3.5 January, yes, someone just corrected me there. But it's expected that a lot of the attackers normally get the wage bump, but I wouldn't put too much stead in Cody Gakpo leaving Liverpool. Him and his team are just looking for a new wage deal, as is Lucho Diaz. We'll see what develops. It's exciting on the winger front, the attacker front as well, isn't it? This one, Young Fede. What a banger of a tune. I don't know if anyone sees when Chiesa, or thinks it like me, but when Chiesa's face comes on the screen, the tune goes round in your head. But he has been talking this week, hasn't he? Saying the year is over, but it's an experience I would do again. Soon I will sit down at the table with the club, Fally, his agent, and my family to find the best solution. I wouldn't mind staying in Liverpool at all. People have latched onto this line. I understand why, because Lucho Diaz has said it. So you can't ignore it at all. He's made it quite clear. However, Lucho Diaz, Chiesa, bloody hell, get my wingers confused here. Federico Chiesa. However, the info that we've got with Chiesa is that he's already talking to Italian clubs. We've had that stood up by various people. The big thing to add on this is, and I don't know if I wouldn't say it's bad, I wouldn't say it's good news, but there is a possibility that to expedite the move for Chiesa, our info is that Liverpool may have to pay a little bit in, unfortunately. I suppose you would call it bad news, wouldn't it, to his wages? That I know people have been suggesting, Milan will come in and they'll give 20 million, 25. Our info is that the Italian clubs have spoken to us, are looking at a loan with an option. We're looking for a loan with an obligation, but also the wages that he's on aren't too attractive for some of the Italian clubs. They're even talking about subsidising those possibly at Liverpool. So we'll have to see what's happening on that. But yeah, our info is, again, love the song, banger of a tune, brilliant lad. I think we're all really astonished, if you're honest, if Chiesa is at Liverpool by the end of this summer. But we'll see on that one. And the final bit, now, I'm deadly honest, we've been digging, we've been harassing, we've been haranguing all day about this Darwin Núñez thing, because I'm sure you've seen it. Victor Osimhen, that move's broken down to Al Hilal. And obviously it goes all the way back to that Sam Maguire exclusive, doesn't it? Are Al Hilal going to come in for Darwin Núñez? Now, just for total transparency, if you want to call it that, it says Sports Zone on the screen. We have asked, we have dug, me and Trev, all day to try and find this. 100% honest, can't get anything about it. Just can't get anything about Al Hilal being in for Darwin Núñez right now. So if they are, we don't have it. And by the way, I do hope they are, because I think this would be a good time and a good move. And the Saudis have got a matter of urgency, haven't they? Because the Club World Cup is coming up in just under 10 days. It starts now, doesn't it? So this would be great. But full transparency, don't have this. Sorry, just don't. Things we do have, or from digging around, Liverpool are still looking and in touch with a multitude of attackers. That it's not just Wirtz in and that's it. That you know the names, a lot of them, but Alvarez, Isaac, and I know you're going to put in the chat panel, so get it out your system. Little chance, the fees and all that. But yeah, absolutely still getting that from various people. Goncalo Ramos came up, didn't he, from Sam Maguire? And I'm not even going to try and get his name right, but that 6'9" lad that paid for Germany the other night, Wolfgang or whatever his name is, I think he's Stuttgart, apparently. Yeah, we had a look at him. So Peter Crouch Mark II has been looked at, but again, I can't really see that one yet. Rodrigo, as people mentioned, I don't like saying this name, but still getting it verified that from various people, Anthony Gordon is well on the radar. And if Diaz, Núñez go, Liverpool will be there. Don't like to say it personally. Everyone will have their opinion on that. But the key thing I would say, there's a mix. There's Tijuana tacos in there. There's a little bit of tapas, a little bit of albondigas, a little bit of potatoes bravas, a little bit of fish tails, that magic shrimp stuff they have at the tapas as well. All of it. Basically, Liverpool are looking at attackers galore still. Now, none of this is going to be sorted before the end of window 1. If you want to call it that, it's going to move into window 2, of course. But yeah, there you go. And by the way, I know people saying about, I know you can't help yourselves. Oh, the Alvarez release clause, 500 million. I just told you quite clearly that's the info we're getting. But do I think it's achievable? Do I think it's realistic? As we've said a million times before, no. We're just telling you what we're getting.